I don't know if you living under a rock or not, but I gotta be real. Stephen A. Smith, I know some people might not like him, but I'm gonna keep it honest. Stephen A. Smith is speaking some truth when he's talking about relationships. See, a lot of times, it come a time in life where, as a man, you think that if you end up having success, you think relationships gonna be a lot easier. Sadly to tell you, dudes with money going through the same issues that dudes without money have. Only difference is the dude with money can spoil, wine and dine, and also utilize his funds in order to get what he wants. But the sad part about it is when you got money, you got allegations, you got all type of things that can go up against you. So Stephen A. Smith lets you know that the reason why he's not married was because he knew he wasn't going to be faithful because of all the options he have out here. Now, I know a lot of times, like, you might look at certain things and say to yourself, wait a minute, he got options. Yes, he got options. He got options and he got money. So when you sometimes think that you're going to be able to play this field out here, a lot of us can't have that type of success out here because we don't have much going on for ourselves. Unlike the ones that got their own thing going on. Like, I'm one of them guys, I got my own crib, I got all those things, but also I'm also going through a divorce. So I can tell you from firsthand, I remember at a time where as though when I was single life, I just had my girl before my wife. And I was single. I was basically looked at as single because I was still doing my thing, still having company, still doing the things that I wanted to do. But I realized that in life, when you settle down, I can't speak for everybody, but I notice a lot of men do this. I was in the best shape of my life. Cut, always stayed in the gym, always loved to go out and have fun, but I was happy. I had peace because I dictated my own peace. Now, when Stephen A. Smith talks, it made me realize something that I noticed that what he was talking about, a lot of dudes resonated with. The peace factor. Dictating your own peace, not having to answer to anybody. When you don't have to answer to anybody, you tend to have more of a better outlook of life. I'm sorry. A lot of times we don't want to hear these things, but I'm going to tell you right now, you have so much peace when you're able to live your life and you dictate your own time management. One of the things about settling down that I noticed that I see why Stephen A. Smith was not with it, the time that you have in order to be successful, women do love to take that away from you. They love to be the emphasis around your whole day. They tend to always want to spend your money. They say love don't cost a thing, but that's a lie. Um, when you're in love and you're in a relationship, they always seems to always want to be wine and dine, dinner dates. You still got to treat them as such, like they're your girlfriend, like you still just trying to spoil them. When you kind of look at it, man, we don't really get anything from that. What happens is, what you end up getting is, you end up getting a lot of, basically, a lot of money spent. I'm being real. You get a lot of money spent. You also have a lot of things that are against you because once you settle down, you're seeing a divorce rate. And this is for people that got money. So if you got money out here and you tend to live the life of like, yo, I'm doing my thing. I'm living life. But this the problem is when you once you start living life like that, you start being the one that's going to be the center of attention. That's going to be the one end up when the divorce comes. You're going to end up spending money out of your ass. And we see that a lot. So when we see men starting to pick the side of the road that says, yo, I'd rather be single. I'd rather stay single. It's reasons for that. We don't just stay single just to stay single. We stay single for peace, and we stay single just so we can be able to operate through life and be able to have something. When you start to see a lot of older men in the 50s, 60s, 70s that end up telling the stories, the horror stories. Now, the sad part about it is when you hear the horror stories, it's not as many as the ones that are still successfully married. And when we say successfully married, it's really not successfully because we found out that they had their ups and downs. They had babies out of, you know what I mean, out on their wife, or sometimes in some cases, which I heard, wives done had babies that they put on their husbands, and their husbands sometimes never found out. So it's ugly on both sides. It's just that now we got social media. social media is now putting things out there for men to see. We're not only seeing it, we're witnessing it and we're experiencing it. We two different things. It's one thing to say, "Oh, I heard," but for some of us to experience it, I never experienced that, but I've seen it. So when you looking at life now, men are now choosing more happiness. They choosing themselves, and I think it's only right. So when you look at Stephen A. Smith, a lot of men out here resonate with him. We understand where he's coming from. We also understand too, having that type of freedom and being able to have that money that he's making, he's able to take that with him and do all the things he wants. I know when you hear these dumbass stories talk about, well, you're going to spend your life alone because you will want to share your money. Shut up. When you got bread out here, you able to do whatever you want. You able to dictate the energy that you want to give out. You can have company when you want to, but you pay people to leave. And that's basically what it looks like Stephen A. Smith is doing. He's playing the game of, if I built myself up and I did all these things, I'm no longer going to suffer with trying to come home and please one person, whereas though they can turn the tables on you. Once they turn the tables on you, you're sitting there, and the only person that's going to be able to dictate your livelihood is that judge. This is one of the reasons why you see a lot of men walking away and they saying, F that, we're not doing this. It's not a game of a tug of war. Tug of war is a game where it's two people on both sides and they both pulling at the rope. When the man is going in front of that judge in court, it's not a tug of war. It's her have the rope on her side and you already lost. And you ain't even get a chance to pull the rope. Why? Because they got the legal side. Until they change these rules, whereas though nobody's able to benefit off of one person, it's a 50-50, and then we'll start to see things change. But from this point on, I think a lot of guys are starting to wake up and realize that it's not a fair exchange to be in a relationship and you think you're going to be able to walk around here and be comfortable just saying, look, I'm making sure that woman is good. I'm making sure she's safe. If we're not feeling safe and we're not feeling like it's beneficial to us, we're not doing it. And this is from a married man going through a divorce, that a lot of things don't play out right for men, even though we can walk away. But the problem is about walking away. You're losing what you build. We're no longer looking at relationships the same no more. They call it a business deal. For some odd reason, when you start to see more men out here that's successful as Stephen A. Smith, even though I'm mentioning him because he just sat down with a podcast. And I think a lot of men understand where he's coming from. And I'm going to say this. I think a lot of men need to listen to these stories from older and read between the thin line. When we talk about happy marriage and people that are just lying just to make sure they can go home and be able to sleep a lot better. Peace and be safe. Like and subscribe.